And we're live. Beers and Buffalo Podcast, Season 7, Episode 4. Back at it again, just in time for Week 1 of the 2025 NFL season. I'm excited.
Me too. We missed a couple preseason games, but we'll get into that. And,
Bunch more. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of news on a little break here for the preseason. It's preseason, so I'm not gonna. I didn't know we'd have an episode every week. Talk about guys that aren't even going to be on the team probably in a few weeks.
Yeah, we didn't need to go
working back at Walmart again. No need to be mentioning guys that I've never heard.
Or we'll never hear again.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't need to break down every game.
Well, I'm going to start with the big news though. Before we get into some preseason talk, the Bills signing back Gabe Davis, coming back to Buffalo. They signed him yesterday. I believe he's just going to join the practice squad for the time being, right?
You still rusty?
Why?
We have some beers to talk about.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Well, you could have interrupted me before I got into it.
You, man.
No, go ahead.
That's not my forte.
We are rusty.
But since I've got the beer this week, I got Legend of the Cone Buffalo Style IPA. And if you're from Buffalo, you know the Conehead. He served well over 1 million beers between Buffalo Bisons, Buffalo Bandits. I remember he used to be at way back in the early 2000s.
He's at every Buffalo sport.
I don't think he does Sabres though.
No, Conehead?
Conehead does Buffalo Sabres?
Yeah.
Well, this man is an absolute legend, which is why it's Legend of the Beer. You fucked up your pour right off the bat.
Dude, this thing's frothy.
I'm not surprised. Oh, mine's already foaming right out as soon as I
think you shook these in the car.
Yeah. You know what it was? I put them on top of the roof and strapped them down and just made sure I hit every pothole on the way here. But, I went to Consumers today. I said, I want to find a can that stands out to me. And as soon as I walked to that cooler, I fucked up my pour too, so yeah, it's on me. I saw the Legend of the Conehead. I'm like, that's it. I don't even care what it is.
It is a cool can. I put it.
It's a great can. I might have to keep one of these and put it on my wall eventually when I build a wall in my basement. Just sweet beer cans.
Nice. I'm trying to let the
foam dry down a little bit.
This thing it's wild.
I don't know the nose trick if you swipe your nose and I'm not.
I think it's earwax, isn't it?
Oh, that's gross. I'm not fucking drinking
earwax.
Ew, dude.
Earwax.
Ew, dude. What are you doing?
Well, that didn't work.
Well, that beer is going to taste like butthole.
No, dude.
So
that's exactly what you're supposed to do for it.
I thought it was you wipe the side of your nose to get the oil off the side of your nose and just swirl it around.
It could be the nose. It could be the ear.
As long as it's not your butthole
or your ball sack, dude. I don't want you fucking rubbing your balls.
No from under cheese.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm gonna go right into it. It's a lot of foam.
I don't know what makes up a Buffalo style IPA.
I think that's a marketing thing.
It's got to be a marketing thing. I don't think there's an actual Buffalo IPA. It's a hazy Buffalo style India Pale Ale. But I don't know what makes it Buffalo style other than we've got it marketed with the Conehead, which only Buffalo knows.
Well, we've already established that.
And there's nothing on the can that says what it's about.
Look at the freaking foam sticking to the sides here, man.
Yeah, this is crazy. Frothy. Very frothy. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe I did hit a couple extra potholes on the way here, but I've never had to pour into a can in a glass 3 different times to get rid of the head.
I mean, that's just a classic IPA taste right there. I love my hazies, man. It's got like a more fruitier kind of taste.
I didn't even know this was hazy. Like I said, I just bought it. I just saw it was hazy now. And I'm even more excited for it. This is really good though. And it's only 5.5%, which is something you could actually have more than a handful of.
Yeah.
Because normally when you get a hazy IPA, they're like 7-8%.
Yeah, some of those get up there. You're getting close to double digits. Actually, fun fact: one of the 2 that we were going to review.
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me about that.
Which that'll be a later in the year, or I'll just have those on our free time because they're only 12-ounce cans, and I only got 1 of each, so it would literally be 6 ounces a piece of each beer.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, it's just small cans. I only got 1 can of each. The one, though, is I think it's an IP. It's a triple something.
Oh, that's heavy.
9.2%. So,
yeah. As soon as you said triple, I knew it was towards double digits.
Exactly. All right.
But now we can get back into
no, we can't. We got to rate our beer.
Oh, we got to rate it. We didn't rate last podcast either.
We didn't, dude. We're falling apart.
Dude,
we'll get back into it. We got to start doing these consistent again.
We're in shambles here.
So last week we did the Rare Voss by Amagang Brewery. That was a red ale, 6.5%. I gave us both 6.5s until unless you wanted to change your mind, because I don't remember. I know it was good, but
I didn't think it was that good. I do remember having it. I'm just like, I don't understand what makes this so good.
No.
And of course, you went with the percentage again, but
yeah, I did go with the percentage.
That's okay. 6.5 works. I don't think that it wasn't that good of a beer. This is actually really good. I'd probably give this a 7.5, 7.7 maybe.
What are we going here? 7.5, 7.7.
Let's split the difference and go 7.6.
7.6 on
yeah,
that.
I like that one. This is a really good beer.
We'll go a little lower. I like it though. I'm gonna do 7.2 on this one. Honestly, I could have gave it more if it wasn't as foamy. I'm blaming the foam for a couple points here.
You could probably knock me for a couple points because I pulled it out of the fridge and then I came over here and it was on the floor in the car. So I might have hit it. And you know the roads in Niagara Falls are absolute dog shit. We can, you know what? We can blame Niagara Falls, City of Public Works or City of Public Works or Department of Public Works.
There you go.
There it is. City of something, Department of something. City of Niagara Falls, Department of Public Works. Say that 10 times fast. We'll blame them for the roads being absolute dog shit on the way here.
Trash on trash.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's get into some Bills talk here.
Now you can go back to Gabe Davis.
Switching my thing back here. So yeah, we'll start things off with the latest signing here. Gabe Davis, welcome back to Buffalo, joining the practice squad. He was on the Jags last year. Was it the last 2 years? Last year, I believe. Just last
2 years, I thought.
No, it was last year. He 2024 was his first year with the Jags. They paid him. He signed to a 3-year contract, I believe, through 2026. For $39 million. So I don't know who's on the hook for that. If
Jacksonville's on the hook.
Jacksonville's on the hook.
We signed him for a league minimum, which is all we had in our cap space. Okay. We had like $1.3 million in cap space, and Gabe Davis would have cost us $1.2 million. So the Bills might have $100,000 to play with.
I can't believe why Jacksonville, if that was not part of the negotiation, you got to take some of this, contract with you, or
I think a lot of it was they had Michael Thomas Jr. last year go absolutely bananas.
Brian Thomas Jr.,
excuse me. Brian Thomas Jr. go bananas last year, and they just signed Travis Hunter, who is already listed as the wide receiver 1 on that team on the opposite side of Brian Thomas Jr. So right. I already think that limits Gabe Davis. He's had the injury. He's coming off an MCL injury. So they were just like, you know what? We're good with the 2 wide receivers that we have. We have other depth. We're good just paying you whatever amount of money we owe you. And Jacksonville has a good cap space too. So they can afford to just cut somebody loose for $12 million. It'd be like the Bills getting rid of Joey Bosa halfway through the season. Right. Like, yeah, we'll eat your $12 million. You go sign with a different team.
Yeah, and I think it's a torn meniscus in his left knee that he's recovering from. He injured it in week 11 last year. So as of now, there's no timeline for him to be 100% healthy or just healthy. But I think at this point, we bring him on as a depth piece. There's no need to rush him back because he's not starting right away regardless. I will say the good news is that there's going to be some familiarity there with Josh Allen, some quarterback, wide receiver chemistry. So it shouldn't take long for him to get back on the same page with Josh if and when his number's called, because God knows there's going to be injuries throughout the season. It's just how we get plagued with this shit.
Yeah.
And we're going to need the guy for later in the year.
I agree. I didn't like the signing. I don't think we need to bring him back. I thought there were other wide receivers that we could have brought in. I'm glad he's just on the practice squad and not on the actual team. I am a huge believer in Terrell Shavers. I think he proved himself last year at the end of the season, and this preseason he looked absolutely phenomenal. In that last preseason game, I'm blanking on who it was against.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
He made that one-handed grab diving into the end zone on his knee.
Good, dude.
He looked phenomenal. I think he's absolutely earned a spot, and I'm glad we kept him. Mm-hmm. Like, I really think that Terrell Shavers could be the new quote-unquote Gabe Davis if called upon. I think our other wide receiving core between Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Joshua Palmer, who I think a lot of people are actually sleeping on.
I think you're right, dude.
A lot of people are
don't know about Joshua Palmer. He's been a pretty, I'm not going to say he's not like a great wide receiver, but he's been a pretty consistently good receiver.
Very good.
Every
very
year.
Consistent.
He can play on the outside. He can play in the slot. I think primarily he was doing slot work when he was with the Chargers. But we know that that's kind of a Shakir thing. So when Shakir's healthy, I'd rather have Shakir in the middle. I'd rather have Shakir on the mismatches with the linebackers. But it doesn't matter because I think all of our receivers can play at any position on the field. You can stick and plug and play most of those anywhere. I think so.
Well,
besides Coleman. Coleman's
I was going to say I don't think Coleman could ever play slot.
The rest of those guys, Curtis Samuel, when healthy, Palmer, Shakir, these are all smaller. Even Elijah Moore are kind of like more slot. You can put those guys in the slot, if need be.
Yeah, I think we've got a very decent depth between Khalil Shakir, Elijah Moore, Joshua Palmer, Keon Coleman, and then you add in the mix of Terrell Shavers as like, just like a change of pace.
And then Gabe Davis, if any of these guys are really out for an extended period of time, you can call upon them. I don't mind that being a depth piece.
Yeah.
And you know what though, the thing, and this is why I'm not 100% excited with the pickup, is just he was very inconsistent when he was here in Buffalo. He had some great games. He had some good play. He had great playoff games.
Playoff Gabe Davis is what we call him.
But then he'd be disappearing for like 3 weeks, and you go, 1 for 20.
Yeah.
You never really know, because I feel like that's been happening with a lot of our receivers. We haven't had a real consistent receiver since Diggs left the team, and that's part of, I think, this new Bills identity with spreading the ball around. So unfortunately, you're not going to have a guy get 100 yards every single week, week in and week out now. But we would like to have a pure, I think, a clean-cut number one. And we're hoping it's going to be Coleman. Maybe this will be the breakout season for him. I would like to think so on this one. I want it to be Coleman, but I don't know.
My hot take is I think Palmer's going to be our number one. I believe in that much. That dude was an absolute stud with the Chargers, and I don't think that he was used to 100% of his ability. And I think that Buffalo understood that, and that's why we went and grabbed him in the offseason. And I really think that he's going to be, I don't think he's going to be Diggs-like, but he's going to be very close. I think he's probably going to push 1,000 yards. Yeah. He's probably going to push 10 touchdowns. He's probably going to push 90 receptions plus this season. And I think that's going to free up Keon Coleman for the deep balls one-on-one, because we know Keon is going to be our big guy. He's probably our best red zone threat as a wide receiver, outside of Dalton Kincaid as our tight end deep threat or red zone threat. So I really think Josh Palmer is going to have an absolute monster year with the Bills.
Well, looking at his previous 4 years, he's declined a little bit here in production over the last 4. Touchdowns have went down from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 last year. You can say that has to do with play calling. You can say that has to do with coaching changes, a lot of different things. But if you looked at it here, his first year in the league, he played all 17 games. He only had 33 catches on the year, 49 targets for 4 touchdowns. Then he had a ramp up the next year, getting 72, basically more than doubling his catches and having essentially the same amount of touchdowns. But you fast forward to the last year, he went back down to 39 catches and 1 touchdown on the year and only 584 yards. So, the Chargers, though, was another team. They got Ladd McConkey last year, which is probably a big part of why his touchdown numbers went down.
That's what I was going to say. Ladd McConkey interfered with that. And also, you got to remember, Jim Harbaugh's a big run game offense. If you look at drawn by the quarterback's name. This is not good for week 1 of the NFL.
Herbert?
Justin Herbert. If you look up Justin Herbert's stats from last year, they're also way down. So Justin Herbert's numbers go down. That obviously means the wide receivers go down. Yeah. Jim Harbaugh loves to have a great offensive line and a great run game, which helps this quarterback, but the numbers are going to go down. The wide receivers are going to go down. So you go into something like that, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, Palmer had a down, quote unquote, season last year, but so did Justin Herbert, and that's just the way that Harbaugh runs his offense.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, as some would say. I also want to get in because we missed most of the preseason here. We talked about it right before the first game of preseason. James Cook was looking for a contract.
Oh yeah, he got it.
We were speculating on what it could be. We know what he wanted it to be.
I was almost dead on with the contract.
And you were almost dead on with it. So we ended up signing him last month, 4 years, $48 million. 30 of that is guaranteed. We both agree. I think it's a fair price. It was a good signing at that price, $12 million per year. It puts him right there with that Josh Jacobs kind of territory. I like it, and I'm happy. Now we got our quarterback locked up. We got our running back locked up. We got Greg Rousseau locked up. I mean, we got a lot of key players locked up, offense and defense.
Christian Benford locked up.
Benford's locked up. So you kind of got your core now where you can move forward and just start assembling these pieces, try to fit them in here while we still have Josh in his prime. But I love it, man. I'm happy we got it done. I said, will we get it done before week 1? I think that was the question I asked before the preseason game.
I thought we would too.
And I think we both said we were going to get it done. And I said, but if we didn't get it done, I'm not worried about it. It's a plug and play type of offense. You can stick Ty Johnson in there. You can stick Ray Davis in there. And I think either one of those backs would succeed in that style of offense. But I'm happy we got RB1 signed, ready to go, be ready to play week 1 against the Ravens here.
Absolutely agree. And I was saying, like, listen, give him $36 million, or give him like $12 million a year for 3 years, $36 million, and give him like 28 to 29 guaranteed. Yeah. I was a year off. I was a year off.
Yeah, that was close.
They gave him $12 million a year for 4 years and $30 million guaranteed. I was a year and like $3 million off on the guarantee. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one because I don't know shit about this. I was just like, you know what? Based off of other contracts and who's getting what, and then we saw the Kyron Williams deal. He got like a 3 years, $11 million, and like 25 guaranteed. I was like, yep, give him 12, give him like 28 guaranteed, and we're happy. We're good to go. And I was right on the money with the 12 million a year. I was just off on the length of the contract and the amount guaranteed, which. Like I said, for not knowing shit about contracts and how that shit works or what the Bills cap space would be over the years, I'm taking a pat on the back on that.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just to look at like what similar running backs, what they were getting paid, somebody closer to his skill set and production over the last couple of years. You know, I can see where it's more comparable to a Kyron or a Josh Jacobs. He wanted to get that C-Mac and Barkley money, and that's just in Henry. And those guys, it's not going to happen. Now, granted, those guys are all older, especially C-Mac and Derrick Henry, but they've been proven running backs. They've had consistent years in and out, except for C-Mac with his injuries. But that contract was already in place when the Niners signed him anyways. And they kind of knew what they were getting into with that.
And James Cook only had one actual good year. And he benefited off of the Bills' offense being like, listen, we're not going to let Josh take a beating for 16 touchdowns a year. Let's spread that back to our running backs, and James Cook was a beneficiary of that.
Oh, absolutely.
He had 18 total touchdowns, 16 rushing, 2 receiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
That dude doubled his rushing touchdowns by week 2 last year over the previous 2 seasons.
Yeah, it was a completely different style of offense. They, made a conscious decision not to QB sneak Josh as much around the goal line.
Right.
We've had our fair share of our, QB sneaks on 4th and 1s, their own tush pushes and stuff. But I think as far as around the end zone, they've been trusting James Cook a little bit more. And you saw that with his touchdown production kind of skyrocketing there last year versus the year before. So, wanted to get into the preseason a little bit here. The Bills did go 1-2 in the preseason, losing to the Giants, getting blown out by the Bears, shut out by the Bears, I should say.
That was horrible.
And then, having a pretty good game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Josh Allen didn't play a snap during the preseason.
First time in his career.
Overall, I think the team looked average. It would have been nice to see Josh in there for, I get it, the first couple games, whatever. It is what it is. But have him in there with maybe the last preseason game. You can stick him in there for maybe a drive or two. I don't see any harm in that. You've seen the Chiefs. I think Mahomes played the first quarter. I think he played almost the entire first quarter, which is crazy to me. I think that's almost too much. But you'll see other guys playing their starters. Joe Burrow played a lot of snaps. Patrick Mahomes played a lot of snaps. Even Lamar played some snaps. But Josh didn't play any snaps. And they asked Sean, hey, why didn't Josh take any snaps this year? And he said, it's my job to protect the quarterback. Okay, great, man. I get it. But you don't think that it would be maybe beneficial to get some reps out there with some of these other guys? Because we know that he's primarily going to obviously want to work with the first team, but you can throw out Terrell Shavers in him and try different things to try to build some real game situation type of scenarios here. My question is, do we think that, missing or not having any preseason snaps is going to hurt Josh come week one? Will he be a little rusty coming out the gate?
It might. And that's one of Andy Reid's go-tos is he always has his starters go out at some point in the preseason. I did think it was a little odd that he didn't play, a few snaps even. Doesn't have to be a full quarter. Give him 2 drives. Give him 3, whatever. Any type of drive. Give him some type of actual physicality type of gameplay where he's going to have to take pressures up the middle because the offensive line wasn't full intact. I don't think James Cook played much of the preseason, if any. It's just
he might have had a couple snaps.
It's just one of those things where it's just give Josh I understand he's earned to not have to do that, but I would like him to have to be I don't want him to have to take week 1 as preseason week 4. And I don't want to get too far ahead, but we've got a huge week 1 this week. And I would have liked to have seen Josh out there a little bit just to get rid of any type of jitters that he might have. We know he throws up before every single game. We get it. But there's something about playing in an actual game before it actually counts. I think that he needed to get involved with.
Yeah, I just think, that's something that most of the teams are doing. Your starting guy is going to get a couple reps just to get the cobwebs off, build up some chemistry there in a game situation before an actual game that counts happens. I would have liked to see him play in a couple snaps. Like I said, 1 or 2 drives. I think it might actually hurt him a little bit in week 1. I think the Bills might come out a little bit flat. Granted, we are going to be at home for week 1, but it kind of sucks, man. It was already bad enough that, our defense looked atrocious, I think, all of preseason. And we'll get into that a little bit for the week 1 matchup. But, not having certain guys be available is one thing, but being available and not playing is another thing. I don't know. I didn't agree with McDermott's decision on that. I'll just say that.
That was my biggest takeaway from the preseason was how bad our depth looked in the preseason games, because we talked multiple times how we were so happy that Bean finally put depth into the defense. We looked at Joey Bosa, you looked at Michael Hoyt, who was suspended for the first, was it 6 games?
Yeah,
4 games.
Him and Larry Ogunjobi,
sure.
Whatever.
Yep. We got a couple of people suspended. We didn't see much from them. Who you would think that you're suspended, you better show out on defense in the preseason when you're allowed to play. But our secondary defense looked absolutely abysmal. Mm-hmm. And then we dealt with that injury to Trey White. We thought that was career ending I thought it was career ending at that point because he went down, walked to the locker room, came back out, then got carted out. And they're like, nah, it's just a lower leg injury. He'll be back, and he might even be back for week 1. Well, they didn't give us any update for it felt like a month, even though it was only like a week and a half.
Yeah.
But we didn't get any update on that. And we're really counting on Trey White to be a very good depth piece for us. And then we signed Jordan Poyer back to the practice squad.
Yeah.
And I saw that on Hard Knocks that Jordan Poyer was like, yeah, I was told that being on the practice squad will humble you because they send the ones out, they send the twos out, and then you're just sitting there on the practice squad just waiting to get called.
Yep.
And he's like, that's very humbling. So I hope that's a good thing for him. I didn't think it was. It's just one of those things that I think the Bills need to stop doing. It's just like we get players, we let them go, we let them come back. And it's just like nobody circles the wagons of former Bills players like the Buffalo Bills. That's what it feels like, honestly. The next thing we're going to see is we're going to see Tremaine Edmonds come back after his contract's up in Chicago.
I don't see that happening.
Why not? The Bills have this track record. We get players, they grow here, they go out somewhere else, and they come back. Look at Jordan Phillips. We signed him again last year to whatever it was for the postseason. He played absolutely great. I thought he was great in the postseason. I was like, yep, I want to keep this guy. And they're like, nope, we're not going to sign him. And they signed him to the practice squad.
I was surprised we ended up releasing Mike White and Shane Buechele. We released both of those guys after the third game. Buechele actually had a tremendous game.
Oh yeah, he did,
throwing the football. Now it was a lot of dink and dump type passes.
Doesn't matter.
Nothing was more than I think 30 yards in the air, but very efficient. Didn't turn the ball over. Had a touchdown, I believe, on that. The Bills choosing to roll with two quarterbacks. Mitch Trubisky getting the backup there.
Shane Buechele did get signed back to the practice squad, so I'm happy with that. I am happy with that.
Okay, so
because
good.
God forbid, knock on wood, anything ever happens to Josh Allen, and we have to roll out Mitchell fucking Trubisky.
I mean, he's gonna get first
I'm
crack
just,
at it.
I'm just taking the jersey and the hat off for the year, and I'm just be like, go football.
Yeah, well,
I got something to watch on
yeah,
Sundays.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen, he is the heart and soul of this offense. Josh Allen's the only person that can't get hurt.
Well, you just want to have a competent backup. Yeah. And that's all.
I thought Shane Buechele would have been the better one.
Yeah, and he's been on the team. He was on the team last year as well. I mean, Mitch was on a couple years ago. After a year away from the team with the Steelers. So both the quarterbacks are familiar with the offense, with what we're trying to do. I don't mind either one as being a backup. I think Mitch, though, with more game experience, is probably why he's going to be the direct backup. And then if something really doesn't happen, or if he just starts shitting the bed, he'll be on a short leash. I can tell you right now, if anything did ever happen to Josh, Mitch gets thrown in there, 1-2 games gone after that. That's it, and then you're making a change right away because that this is a Super Bowl caliber team. It's a playoff caliber team for sure, and you don't want to jeopardize that by making a mistake and running a guy at QB too long. Even if Josh is out for 6 games or something, it's like you gotta make sure whatever you plug in there works right away. You don't got much time to fart around.
If anything ever happens to Josh, what's his name? Shane Buechele?
Yeah.
He needs to be Nick Foles. When Carson Wentz went down, and Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate that year, and then Nick Foles led that team to a Super Bowl over Tom Brady.
Yeah. And that was a magical Super Bowl right there.
That's what Shane Buechele needs to be. But you know what also is that's on the coaching staff. And I'm not sure our coaching staff would be able to handle a Super Bowl without Josh Allen. So everything rides on Josh Allen, just like I think that Josh Allen is the reason that Gabe Davis is back in Buffalo. Whether it's practice squad while he heals from his meniscus tear. I really think that this is Josh's team, and we bring back everybody that Josh wants. Which is why Mitch Trubisky was the backup over Shane Buechele.
All right, let's get into the Week 1 matchup here.
Oh, here we go. Yep.
So, I started with will Josh be ready? I think he might be a little rusty to start this game. The Bills are I have 1.5 point favorites. I've seen it flip flop where the Ravens are now 1.5 point favorite, 1 to 1.5 point favorite. I think depending on what book you're looking at, I'm going with
check
the Bills are still
right now.
favored on this one, which I think is rightfully so. It's week 1. We're at home. We have the defending MVP. Like, I think this makes sense, and it should be this close anyways. Offensively, I'm not too worried about this. I think, like I said, the first couple drives, I think we're going to come out a little flat, right?
Yep.
Shakir missing some preseason, or did he miss all of preseason? I don't even remember. I think it was all of preseason. It was all of preseason. Josh not playing all of preseason. So your number 1 quarterback and your number 1 receiver never took a snap in preseason. James Cook, I think he's going to be heavily relied on here in game 1. It's going to be hand the ball to James Cook and see what he does with it. On the flip side, though, I mean, like the Ravens, their offense, what they're going to do. They're going to hand the ball to Derrick Henry and try to do a repeat here, what they did to us last year. I'm talking the regular season where he almost rushed for 200 fucking yards on us, man.
Yeah.
Like, that was incredible.
He had that one drive where he went like 87 yards.
Yeah, I know.
Yards.
But that's the thing. It takes one big play. Yeah. Next thing you know, your stats are all over the place. So, I mean, offensively, I think that both two teams match up pretty good here.
Yeah, I totally agree because I don't think Baltimore's defense is very good. Their offense is just as good as ours. They have a couple of tight ends.
I'll give them the edge, though, on defense. I will give them the edge on defense.
A slight edge on defense. I thought our depth was better going into the season than Baltimore's, but after watching this preseason, with all of this depth starting, I'm out here watching Cole Bishop just look absolutely lost in the sauce. Like, what is this motherfucker doing?
But offensively, I'm saying, like,
offense.
I think we're matching up pretty well here.
Yes.
And honestly, just being at home is kind of got to be the tipping point where it sways a little bit. What's that?
I was going to say Baltimore is actually 1.5 point favorites going into this game, which is crazy because
so it swithed on us because it was
the Bills
up
were
until
the only
probably today.
The Bills were the only team
favored every
game going into the 17-game season, which kind of drives me nuts that this flip-flopped, but it is what it is at this point. So
yeah, but being that close, so like if you look at any spreads that are like 1.5, it could go either way depending on the days leading up to that. Obviously, there was a lot of time since that schedule or the odds were released that the Bills were favored every
months
game.
Ago.
And that was when we had a healthy Shakir right away. Mm-hmm. We had a healthy Maxwell Hairston right away. I
haven't heard anything on his.
Dwayne Carter, who tore his Achilles.
He's done, and that drives me nuts.
So, there was a lot of things I think injuries might have played into this. That's the only logical thing that I can think of that makes
it's crazy
move.
Because it's crazy is when we signed Jordan Phillips back to the team / practice squad. People are like, well, what does that mean for Dwayne Carter because he looked good last year? Then like a week and a half later, Dwayne Carter blows his Achilles out, done for the season. It's like, well. Thank God we have Jordan Phillips, who looked great with our defense last year in the postseason when we picked him back up. I was okay with the Jordan Phillips signing as long as he was going to be a depth piece. And now it looks like he's going to have to be a bona fide starter, which he was phenomenal as a bona fide starter when he was with Buffalo before he left for, I think, Arizona the last couple of years and came back last year. For the playoff run.
Who's this?
Jordan Phillips.
No, he was on Dallas.
Was he on Dallas? Yeah. Okay. He was on one of those NFC teams. But I like Jordan Phillips with Buffalo. Yeah. And I love people that say, like, playing outside of Buffalo sucks. Because he's even like, yeah, I wasn't happy where I was. And coming back to Buffalo, I play better. I'm mentally more prepared. Like physically better. Like I love that. And that's what I love, that the culture that Buffalo's building is just like we can get guys that, you might not want to come to Buffalo because the weather fucking sucks. And
that's but now that was the main thing that kept people away from us. And then guess what? Winning absolutely helps. That fixes a lot.
But I think that goes back to our culture and how good our culture is.
Everything's been switched since the McDermott kind of takeover there.
Which is why I'm no longer a McDermott doubter. which is why I will not call for McDermott's job unless he loses in the AFC Championship against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I will. The only reason I call for Bean's job is because I feel like Josh is making a lot of these decisions when it comes to getting guys that he wants in here.
Yeah, but he's a big part of the draft, though, and building the pieces that way.
Right.
Not necessarily on the trades and stuff because, and also Josh is here because of Bean. So like, you can't have one without the other. Now that you have Josh and he is what he is, that helps sell free agents or trades or whatever, players that come here. But I'm still a fan of Bean. I'm still okay with Bean being the GM.
No, I get it. I know. I think he definitely missed on a lot of like first round picks over the last few years.
We had some guys.
But there's a lot of teams that have missed on a lot of picks over the years.
We're not the
Just
only
because
ones.
Bean misses on first round picks doesn't mean he misses. Like we have Christian Benford, who was a 6th or 7th round pick, and we had Khair Elam, who was a first round pick that we traded to Dallas for basically pennies.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, if you had to pick one offensive player, and then I want to switch over to the defense. I know you touched on it already, but if you had to pick one offensive player that might surprise you week one, who is it? Who's going to surprise you week one here?
I've been saying I think it's Josh Palmer. I think he's really going to prove to the league that like he is like a number one. He is like a Justin. Okay, might be a little far fetched.
No,
he
don't
is
say
like
that.
Okay, I'm telling you.
Don't say that.
But he's never had a quarterback like Josh Allen.
Sure, but I don't think
Justin Jefferson might be
Justin.
Okay, Justin Jefferson is a reach because Justin Jefferson was good with whatever quarterback he had. CeeDee Lamb was also good with any quarterback he had. But like Jamar Chase, he was only good with Joe Burrow. Not only good.
That's the only quarterback he's ever had, really.
Joe Burrow missed the last like 2 seasons.
I mean, he was like one.
Chase Daniel, not Chase Daniel.
Something Browning, Jake Browning.
Jake Browning, great poll. Jake Browning, he didn't look great with Jake Browning.
Yeah, he did. He looked fine.
No, he did not. But there's a lot of wide receivers that Devontae Adams looked like shit last year.
Devontae Adams is also old as shit, too.
He's 32. It's not that old. It's not that old.
Compared to a Joshua Palmer, who's only been in the league for 4 years. So
there's just something about Josh Palmer. I liked what I saw when he was on the Chargers. He wasn't the number one guy there ever.
Yeah.
And I think he has a real opportunity to be the number one guy beyond Keon Coleman, who's going to be more of a sideline jump and grab type of play, an end zone type of play, and Khalil Shakir, who is our slot guy. I think Josh Palmer is going to replace that void that we have since we got rid of Stephon Diggs.
Okay. I'm going to go with, I was torn between two people. I'm going to actually go with the counterpart here. I'm going to go with Keon Coleman kind of being the shock here.
Okay.
I think that they're going to try to target him often and early. I think he's ready for the limelight here. This is going to be a big game against a big opponent. I think he's going to put some numbers up, and I think Josh is going to throw him the ball a lot. I wanted to say Kincaid is kind of being a shocker, but honestly, I need to see it again from him. He had a whole year off where I didn't see it. So I'm going to start needing to see a little bit more before I can be like, hey, this guy is it. And I just can't pick him to surprise me just because I don't believe in it yet.
Yeah.
But I do think Keon, week one, a year under his belt, wanted to prove it, he wants to be the number one on the team too. You don't forget that. Like you might think that it might be Josh Palmer, but I know Keon wants it to be himself. So I think you take Josh Palmer, I'll take Keon on this one. I hope both of them have good games going into.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think they will. But now let's switch over to the defense, which is a different story. This is where I'm a little bit more worried going to this, just because of the amount of injuries. We already said no Maxwell Hairston, no Trey White, Christian Benford is questionable. Probably be a game time decision. It says undisclosed injury on the Bills website,
which doesn't make sense because I thought the NFL has to disclose the injury, or at least the area of the injury.
Yeah, I don't know, and what that means, if that's just going to end up being like a personal reason or whatever. But it sounds like it's an actual injury, but it doesn't sound serious enough, and maybe that's why they don't have to disclose it. It happened during preseason. Maybe that's why. I really don't know what it is, but we brought back Jordan Phillips on a 1-year deal, but he's getting up there in age. Dwayne Carter, I just said, tore his Achilles. He's out for the year. You mentioned this, and I have good poll. Cole Bishop has been absolutely trash all of camp and preseason, essentially.
Yeah.
And that was a guy that we drafted last year thinking, was that last year's draft, Cole?
Yeah, he was a rookie last year.
And going in thinking, great, we got another guy we can pair on the opposite end of Taylor Rapp here. He hasn't looked good. So, the secondary is really not looking good. We had our guys in the offseason that we signed with Michael Hoyt and Ogunjobi, who are out for 6 weeks to PEDs. So I'm thinking we're going to have to start seeing some rookies here step up possibly. Joey Bosa, there's going to be a lot of pressure. I'll start with this first. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Joey Bosa to do something here. Okay, that was the biggest offseason signing for the Bills, was Joey Bosa. Big name, household name, did a lot with the Chargers while he was playing for them. Comes to the Bills, a very contract-friendly type of deal, right? And
$12.5 million for 1 year's contract.
Compared to what it could be, because
you're right.
Von Miller and him are like, Von's older and he got paid way more money than
he
you're
got,
right.
You're
so
right.
I'm just saying, for who he is and what he's done, I think it was and it's a 1-year deal. I'm fine with it. The $12 million is fine for him. So in my eyes, I think a lot of guys like Joey Bosa will have to step up. Matt Milano will have to step up. Did you know he's not even listed as a starter? He probably will start, because I think Shaq Thompson is hurt.
Who's not listed as a starter?
Matt
Milano?
Ready? Look at this.
That doesn't even make fucking sense.
So, right here.
Shaq Thompson?
Shaq Thompson from Carolina that we picked up in the offseason.
No, there's no shot. Yeah. That can't be current.
This is today. I looked this up.
Okay, so, go to the Buffalo Bills depth chart on the Buffalo Bills website.
I will.
Because you're on ESPN, and I'm telling you right now, everything I've seen coming out of camp as Matt Milano looks like,
let me switch over to
he looks like an absolute demon,
folks. This is
out of nowhere.
This is what I'm talking about here. Matt Milano, Shaq Thompson, not listed as a starter.
I'm telling you right now, Matt Milano is going to get the start over Shaq Thompson. I would bet my mortgage on that.
Buffalo Bills depth chart.
There it is. You don't have to type that in.
I know, because I haven't been looking.
Well, you
up.
Go to the Buffalo Bills, not ESPN.
So he's
Matt Milano. See, on the Bills, he's a Matt Milano's the starter.
Now,
that's what I'm telling you. Matt Milano has looked phenomenal in this preseason,
so
practices, camps, whatever.
Dude, but
yeah, ESPN can fuck off. ESPN has gone downhill for the last 20 fucking years.
So we're going to throw this one out the window. We're going to go back over to this.
Yeah, go back to the Bills depth chart, because my biggest thing, and I know you touched on a little bit, my biggest surprise, or whatever you want to call it, for defense is going to be Joey Bosa. It has to be. He's talked about the culture differences between the two teams. He's talked about how he's rejuvenated being in Buffalo. He's talked about how things got stale in San Diego / Los Angeles. And he's just talked about how he is looking forward to the opportunity as being the starter in Buffalo. Right. And I just really think this is a make or break year for him. If you can't come into Buffalo, who's already a Super Bowl contender, the Chargers have not been Super Bowl contenders ever in his career. But if you come into this team and you can't show out enough to make an impact and help this team go to the Super Bowl, possibly win it, it's got to be Joey Bosa at this point, because he was the biggest name we signed in free agency.
Yeah. And like I said, there are some chances for rookies to shine here. Landon Jackson, I think, will get a couple opportunities, right? I'm real interested in seeing on our secondary here. So Benford, by all accounts, we think is going to start. Great. Taron Johnson will start, but Taron Johnson is normally a nickelback. I don't think he's ever played the outside. I'm thinking Cam Lewis will end up starting in place of Trey or Jamarcus Ingram. It's going to be one of these two. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Cam Lewis.
I like Cam Lewis.
But Jamarcus Ingram had a great rookie year last year in the games that he had to fill in. So either one of these guys, I'm not entirely going to be mad at if and who it is when they start. And like I said down here, Cole Bishop, dude, like, yes, you don't want to fall back, but old reliable who he can get burned, but he can make good plays is DeMar Hamlin. So, like, if something happens here where we have to pull Cole by halftime, I'm fine with playing DeMar for the rest of that game. Here's another thing. I don't think in that playoff game against the Ravens, Zay Flowers was healthy. I don't think he was there.
No, he wasn't.
We're going to have a Zay Flowers to deal with, who is fast, very fast on the outside.
We also have a Lamar Jackson who's dealing with an ankle injury that might linger the entire season.
That helps.
So a very limited mobility-wise Lamar Jackson, who is known for his mobility, is huge for the Buffalo Bills. It didn't. I saw a lot of reports that were like it was nothing, and I saw a lot of reports that said this is very serious, and they're just downplaying it. And either one of them aren't good. Like. Yeah, it's nothing. You can't have it's nothing, and you can't have it serious, and they're downplaying it.
Right.
It's one or the other. And I'm leaning more towards people that are saying, like, and I'm not just saying this because they're playing in week 1. I don't give a fuck about regular season. I give a shit about the playoffs.
Sure.
If Lamar Jackson isn't healthy at all throughout the entire year, and he's got this lingering ankle issue, like, it doesn't matter what he does during the regular season, and they're not going to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, here's the thing. They can, as long as he plays, they have a chance. They won't, their chances go down. Yep. But I think they still have a chance. It's if he's in there and he can't move as much. We saw it last year. Granted, he had more games than not that they weren't great passes, but he can throw the ball being a pocket passer.
Pocket passer.
But that's not what he is, dude. He's not.
Nope.
He's a guy that wants to get outside, throw outside the numbers,
which is why
he take off when he can take off.
Which is why he was a running back coming into this season, or into this league.
Yeah. And
he tried to prove people wrong, and he basically did.
I mean, he had a ton of touchdowns though last year, man. A ton of touchdowns. He I think he's still dangerous regardless. It does help that if this injury prevents him from kind of scrambling all over, give our defense a little bit of a break, And it's not just the Bills. I think anybody would be in trouble. The Ravens, Lamar is a tough cover for any team in the National Football League. For the Bills specifically, who were extremely weak with their pass rush last year, and we tried to answer that within the draft, and we tried to answer that in free agency and with some of these pickups. Granted, some of these guys are hurt now. It's interesting to see what's going to happen. I really think that this is going to be our kind of Achilles heel going in this game. This is our weak point, is our defense. I give us the edge on the offense. I give the Ravens the edge on the defense there. And then special teams, I'll give us the edge because there's no more Tucker because he's suspended for X amount of games.
He might not ever play in the NFL again or kick in the NFL again. It's tough because I would have given us the edge on special teams just for return wise to give the offense a better look.
We have some good return players.
I don't think Bass was too far off of Tucker. Tucker had his worst year last year. Yeah, so if I'm basing it off of Tucker's last year, I would have given Bass the edge anyway. If you give Tucker's career over Bass's career,
not even close.
It's Tuck by a mile. Justin Tucker probably would have been a Hall of Famer had it not been for this bullshit with his allegations about sexual misconduct with massages a la Deshaun Watson. Them two are probably best friends now.
Went to the same parlor.
They went to the same place. They were both in town with the same places. They were in the division for the last 4 or 5 years. I digress. I'm going to give the edge to the safety or to the special teams to the Bills. The offense, I'm going to give it to the Bills.
Yeah.
Defense, it's probably a coin flip for me.
Yeah.
I don't think either defenses are going to stand out enough to, be like, well, holy shit, did you see the Bills or the Ravens defense? They won that game.
Right.
No, it's going to come down to the offense. I've always thought Josh is a better quarterback. Lamar just hasn't had he's got more like the rushing ability than Josh.
Yeah.
But Josh will fucking truck stick anybody if he has to.
I think it's not even about the ability, because not even being biased, just looking at it, dude. Josh is the more talented overall quarterback.
I'm looking at the same thing.
MVP. But my whole thing is, look at not playing a snap in the preseason, being a little rusty coming out, and then you're going to put on top of that playing the Ravens, who want revenge here for getting knocked out because Mark Andrews dropped that touchdown pass. So
which didn't make a difference anyway, because they weren't guaranteed to win that game, because the Bills would have gotten the ball back with plenty of time, and they would have been down like 4 fucking points. Let's just say they didn't. They knock us out. So it's a different story. To them, if Mark Andrews catches that, they like their odds a lot more than we like our odds of coming back. I'm just saying from their perspective. I get it. So from their perspective.
I'm saying, hey, you guys bounced us out of the playoffs. We're going to make a run. Mark Andrews, bet your ass, put the house on it, touchdown against the Bills. Also, they're just going to be ready. I think they're going to be a little bit more hungry. So my take is we're going to be in the hole maybe 7-10-0. I think that's how the game starts.
I agree.
And that's going to be something that the Bills have to get out of. Are they going to be able to get out of that funk, turn it around, whether it be a slower pace game and turn it around at the half, or they turn it around right away and it's a back and forth? But I think we're in the hole at least 7 to 10 points. And Josh will have to find a way to overcome that and dust those cobwebs off. I'm telling you, they're going to come out a lot more hungry than we are, and that sucks because it's a home game. If this was an away game, I don't even know, man. I think they might clean us out, dude. I'll just be honest with you on that. Being a home game, I give us a lot of that. Weight pushes back to the Bills side here. Bills Mafia will be in full force. But it's just it's not. Basically, what I'm saying is it's not coming down to skill, because I give that to Josh. It's coming down to who's more ready for this game, who wants it more right out the gate. And I'm not saying that we'll get to our picks later. I'm not saying we're going to lose a game. But I'm not saying we're going to win the game based off of that. It's really going to be a hard game. And that's why the spread is a 1.5, and it keeps flip-flopping here.
It reminds me a lot of last year when the Bills went against Arizona, and we came out absolutely fucking flat for the first half. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to lose to Arizona, who shouldn't even be in this game to begin with. And then the second half comes around, and we turned it around. We dominated the second half. We dominated the score. We ended up winning the game. It didn't need to go to overtime. It didn't need to come close. It didn't need to come down to a field goal.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. I could see the Bills starting out the exact same way this year as they did last year. A large part of that is because of the way that the Bills didn't manage their starters going into this preseason.
Right.
Josh didn't play. I'm not even sure I saw James Cook, who probably missed for the first 2 preseason games because of his contract. I don't think I saw a lot of Ray Davis. I saw a lot of Frank Gore Jr., who looked absolutely phenomenal. Frank Gore Jr., if you didn't know, was the only running back in the entire NFL in preseason who had 100+ rushing yards and 100+ receiving yards in this preseason. Which, you know what? If James Cook goes down, we go Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, and Frank Gore Jr. I've got all the faith in the world of this running back committee that we have.
We have some studs.
Picking up the slack.
We have some studs.
We got great pieces. I loved Frank Gore growing up. I was a huge Frank Gore fan. I loved when he came to Buffalo.
Yeah.
I have his jersey when he was an all-star for the 49ers back in 90,
back in the day,
back in the 90th, or the what century was the 90s? 20th century. Yeah, 20th century. You're right. The 20th century. Nowadays kids are like, oh, what's the 20th century? Oh, that was 1,000 years ago. Yeah, pretty much. I was alive 1,000 years ago. But that I have a Bills a Frank Gore 49ers jersey. I think it might have been 01. If I'm not mistaken.
Take a look here. So Frank Gore, he never played in the 90s, so good job.
All right.
2005 was his rookie year.
Okay. So then it definitely wasn't 2001, which I thought it was.
Nope. Mid-2000s.
So it had to have been.
I knew you were a little early when you said 90. I was
I was.
He hadn't been playing for 30 years.
You know what? I got a lot of concussions in high school. So I'm a little blurry when it comes to my 90s and early 2000s. I started high school in 2001. So late 90s, early 2000s, they all kind of blend together a little bit.
So I don't know, man. The game
what
is.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about who's going to be kind of more prepared for this game.
Yeah. I definitely think it's the Bills, but I could see the Bills fumbling in the first half.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an uphill climb for the Bills. I want to move on here to some other NFL news. We could circle back if something pops up here, but I did want to talk about some other stuff before we get in our pick'ems. Big news here. Micah Parsons gets traded to the Green Bay Packers. If you've been following this story for the last month or so here.
Shit, we're just getting to this?
Yeah, we are.
We're over an hour into this podcast, almost an hour into this podcast.
Well, we had to talk Bills first. I had to make sure we talk Bills.
That. I'm going to pull a Frankie the Fish and run to the bathroom.
Run to the bathroom. So we're going to talk Micah Parsons getting traded to the Green Bay Packers. 4 years, $186 million. $136 million guaranteed. That's a hefty contract right there. Also getting paid is Trey Hendrickson, who renegotiated his contract and got a 1 year, $29 million, not 129. 1 year, $29 million contract for the remainder of this year, right? Let's talk about the big one, though. Parsons here going to the Packers, an NFC opponent. Kind of a weird place to get traded to, I guess. If you're the Cowboys, that's not ideal. You would, I guess, want to get him as far away from the division as possible. But in no way do I think that this is a business decision. And why I say that is that Jerry Jones, in every interview that I've seen, is said to every reporter, oh no, this was strictly business. All the coaching staff it was a unanimous decision that they were okay with trading him away. Business decision. If we need to get rid of him, we get rid of him. The money doesn't work. Jerry runs this like a business. I really think that this came down to just stubbornness, realistically. Mm-hmm. There's no way this should have ever happened. The trade should have never popped up. They should have settled this in the offseason, and they could have saved millions of dollars if they would have got him in the offseason before other re-signings happened. And it kind of prolonged and before it became a distraction then. And next thing you know, it's Micah is meeting with Jerry Jones. Jerry said that we negotiated this. There was no agent involved. Micah doesn't think that this is like the actual negotiation. Let me get my agent. We'll call the agent over. The agent goes, I wasn't involved. That doesn't mean anything. Throw that out the window. Jerry says, nope, I already talked to Micah about this. This is the numbers. And it eventually gets to a back and forth kind of heated debate there where Jerry's going to stick to what he says, and he's not going to give in, and Micah's going to stick to what he says. Next thing you know, Micah Parsons traded to the Green Bay Packers. He gets paid out the ass for 4 years, $186 million, like I said. This should have never happened. It should have never got to this, and I think Jerry Jones looks like a fool for this now.
Jerry Jones looks like a fucking idiot. And the fact that he was talking about how he had a handshake agreement with Micah Parsons without his agent involved, the NFL should have been looking into that immediately because that's against the rules with the NFLPA. The fact that Jerry Jones never got investigated about that and the fact that nothing happened to him is mind-blowing because it's against the rules.
Yeah.
And B, it's against the rules. And now the fact that my biggest concern is Micah Parsons was like, oh, I can't practice. I have a back issue. Like, okay, we get it. You got a quote unquote back issue.
We knew it was up.
You just didn't want to, practice, while you're holding off your contract. Then he gets traded to the Packers, and all of a sudden he's got an L4 and an L5 vertebrae issue, and he might have to get a fucking epidural to play this Sunday's game. A lot of the Packers fans should be like, hey, the gig's up. You don't have to talk about this injury anymore. It's over. You're good. And he's like, no, this injury was legit.
It was a real injury.
And how did the Packers pass his physical not knowing he had an L4 and an L5 vertebrae injury, and now he might need an epidural.
I don't know what that means though. Is that like serious?
He's got a spinal cord issue in his lumbar. That's a L4 and L5 is lumbar. L for lumbar. He has a lumbar issue with one or two of his discs, and he needs an epidural to get rid of the pain to play. You know who gets epidurals? Women when they're giving birth, which is a lot more severe than playing in a football game. You know, I'm speaking on, my wife having one as well. So I know that she went through a lot of pain even after having the epidural. And the fact that they're like, yeah, he might have to have one every single game in order to play this season. You might have gotten hosed, Green Bay. Like, Jerry Jones might have actually pulled a fast one on you after violating rules of being able to negotiate a contract, quote unquote, with the player or without the agent.
Yeah.
So as much as the agent was like, yep, we got him $47 million a year with the Packers, but you also dodged a bullet because he might need to have back surgery in the middle of the season.
I think it was more, well, obviously he lied and said he was fine.
I agree.
And I don't know if it was one of these things where he passed it, like they really tested. I think it was one of these things where they really wanted him.
I don't know
how to test afterwards.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works either. I know in the NBA there was a trade that didn't go through with the Lakers because a guy Mike Williams from the
Charlotte Hornets, yep,
didn't pass a physical. Now you never hear of this shit where like a guy got traded but didn't pass a physical, so
I've never heard of that either.
So like this is why I'm saying like I don't know how the protocol really goes. Was it something that they're like, we'll deny it if we need to deny it. We can use it if we need to. So like, hey, maybe we kind of regret the trade. We're not going to go ahead with this type of thing. It could have been contingent on a physical. This trade maybe wasn't contingent on a physical, which possibly is how most of those trades go. Again, I'm not aware of how this stuff. I'm not privy to how that works. What's up?
So my work league started. Sorry to
oh boy, he's got the draft going in.
I'm third pick. Look who just popped up as the third pick for me. Jamar Chase, instant fucking draft.
So that's cool.
Yeah,
I remember when I was drafting with blind people. That's great, dude.
Well, your buddy Rob is the one who drafted first overall. He took Bijan. I don't know who went second. I didn't look. I just saw I was up to draft. I was like, I got 10 seconds to pick.
Probably Saquon, if I had to guess.
Jamar Chase is there? Yeah. I bet you it was.
So, yeah. So
anyways, sorry.
Big trades in the leading up here to week 1. Let's get into it, though. Thursday Night Football, Cowboys, Eagles. Starting tomorrow, week 1 of the NFL. We're here, guys. We made it. I think this is going to be, I mean, the books got this as a blowout. I think 9.5 is 8.5, 9.5.
It was 7.5 before.
It keeps creeping up.
Yeah.
And obviously the Eagles are favored here. It's going to be in Philly. I'm thinking as far as like the offense is concerned, I don't think I have to worry about the Cowboys scoring either. So I think it might be a shootout. It's going to be who's going to make the mistake first kind of deal. So the 9.5, I mean, that's a lot of points. It's almost a touchdown and a field goal there. I almost want to roll with the Cowboys with the points because I think they can play keep up here. However, home for the Eagles and the defending Super Bowl champions, and Saquon Barkley's still there, and their defense is way better than the Cowboys' defense. Now, granted, they did lose some pieces. No more Darius, big play Slay, but they still got most of the pieces there on defense. The offense is still who they are. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Saquon Barkley, Hurts. The tush-push will be in full effect.
Oh, yeah, well.
Who do you like in this game? I'm not even talking spread, just winner in this game. Who should be the clear-cut winner here?
Not even talking spread. Philadelphia's going to win this, and they're absolutely covering the spread, whether it's 7.5, 8.5, or 9.5.
Really?
Dallas' defense is going to be so bad without Micah Parsons.
Yep.
They're not going to be able to contain Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, the Eagles, who have one of probably a top 4.
Yeah.
And that's probably not being generous enough for them, of top 4 offensive line. Mm-hmm. And they have offensive weapons like up the wazoo. like Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith.
I like how you said Dallas Goedert first. Like that's the primary weapon.
I don't. Dallas Goedert. You know why? Because Dallas Goedert was on the team first. Okay, Dallas Goedert, then A.J. Brown, then Devonta Smith. Okay, they were on the team first. And then Saquon Barkley was after Devonta Smith.
Like Kenneth Gainwell in there.
Kenneth Gainwell, if he was still on the team, would have been listed before A.J. Brown. And okay, anyways, but yeah, I don't know why Dallas Goedert. Probably because he might have popped up somewhere on my.
David Akers.
That's funny.
No, I agree. I mean,
I got to go with the Eagles.
Philly should sweep this one. But it should be a good game, though. I'm happy with the matchup for game one, I'll say. I think the National Football League did that right, did it some justice here. Nobody wants to see the Cardinals or Saints on
right.
Game one. So in that regard, I think it's going to be a good game for tomorrow. Yeah, man, if we're talking straight up Eagles, if we're talking spread, I think it'll be closer than what you just said. I think that Dallas's offense can keep them alive. Granted, there is no run game anymore. They're going to be cycling through Javonte Williams,
Jaden Blue,
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders is on the Cowboys?
Yeah. He hasn't been relevant since he was on Philly, so possible revenge matchup here.
Miles Sanders was on the
Eagles.
He was key Eagles, and then he went to the Panthers. Yep.
Yeah, but he wasn't anybody. They found Chuba Hubbard, and the next thing you know, that was the
Chuba
guy.
Hubbard's so good.
But yeah, Miles Sanders is so like really, it's kind of a carousel of running backs that aren't really good.
Right.
That was something that you thought that Dallas would address in the offseason. They really didn't. They drafted Jaden Blue, but he was kind of hurt, I think, too, during the preseason.
He looks good now. I really think probably by like week 5 or 6, he might actually take over that backfield, depending on how.
He possibly could. It's up for grabs, which is a good thing for a rookie player in any position. If you got like, hey, we don't know who the number one is, and you're a rookie, you just play hard, and you might become the number one. So at least that job's up for grab for that guy. Who knows what the lineup's going to look like, but. With the newly acquired George Pickens is kind of why I'm thinking that's the tipping point where they're going to keep him in these games, dude. Pickens is a guy that never had a quarterback either up until last year, and you can even say last year, I still think Dak is better than Russ and Justin Fields. So you had Mason Rudolph and you had Kenny Pickett throwing you the ball. You had Duck Hodges throwing you the ball.
Justin Fields.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson.
That's what I mean.
I actually forgot about George Pickens being on the Cowboys.
And that's a huge pickup where CeeDee Lamb is still CeeDee Lamb. He's going to draw the double teams. You have Jake Ferguson, who is a very good tight end. I'm not going to say he's on the top echelon of these guys, but he's good enough where you got enough threat here on the outside and the middle here. Mm-hmm. Pickens will get open, man. And he's going to have Dak Prescott, who's going to be his most accurate and I'd say even powerful arm thrower that he's had in his career, throwing him the ball. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. I don't pay attention to what the fuck happened in the offseason. So God only knows what the chemistry is going to be like. It might be a little rusty here to start off the gate. Who knows? Week 1 might be a total dud for them. Right. But the fact of the matter is, if you're looking on paper and you got CeeDee Lamb on one side and George Pickens on the other, somebody's going to be open and somebody should be open. So that's why I say possible they don't cover the spread. I take the Cowboys plus 8.5. If I can get it at 9.5, I'm definitely taking that. And then straight up, we go Eagles at home.
Yeah. You know, that's not a bad pick. Are we doing the pick'ems now?
Yeah, we're going to get into the pick'ems right now. I'm going to put on the screen here.
Because I thought we were just talking about Dallas and Philly like it was the pick'ems.
No. I just wanted to talk about that because it was up next. But we can get into the pick'ems. That was kind of prelude to the pick'ems. Let me share with our folks what we have there. All right, so we'll start things up. We kind of already got into it a little bit here. Thursday Night Football. We're both taking Philly here on this, I believe.
Yeah, I took Philly.
Okay, the Friday game. We got a Friday night game, folks. I love these Friday games.
Yeah, me too.
Sao Paulo, Brazil. I think they had this exactly there last year as well.
They did. It was Philadelphia and
Jets. It was two green teams. Yeah, it was two green teams, I thought.
It was Green Bay.
It was either Green Bay or the Jets.
I think it was Green Bay and Philadelphia.
Sure. So this year we got the Chiefs and the Chargers divisional game here. I'm actually going to take the Chargers on this one. There's no home team here. They're playing in Brazil, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers.
I'm taking Kansas City in this one. I love the Chargers of what they've done as of late. Kansas City won a lot of games last year by like less than a score, so I can't like take them like out of like, I don't know what I'm looking for is here.
I don't either. All I know is that the Chargers have lost 7 straight to the Chiefs, and they're due.
Tides are turning. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Let's go here. Starting off the Sunday games, 1 p.m. Raiders and the Patriots. This is tough here for me. I would love to take the Raiders right off the gate, but let's go Drake May at home. I'm taking the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going Drake May. If this was Las Vegas at home, and I would probably take the Vegas Raiders. I love Geno Smith. Love Brock Bowers. I said before the podcast, we're not going to go through the list of why we're going to pick.
And you're already doing it?
And I'm already fucking doing it.
Ashton Genty.
It's hard to break old habits.
I know.
Yeah, give me New England.
Steelers and the Jets. This is going to be a good game, though. Kind of a revenge game here for Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback swap.
Yeah, that's right.
I think this will actually be a really good game.
This should be fun.
God, I hate picking all home teams here, but give me the Jets again, man.
I'm going Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers, there's just something
DK
about
Metcalf?
him. It's just like, I don't even like DK Metcalf anymore. I think they overpaid him. I don't know. I don't think DK Metcalf is any better than George Pickens at this point.
All right, we got the Dolphins at the Colts here. Oh man, give me Miami on this one.
No, I was going to go Miami as well.
Yeah, I'll take
as long as Tua is
team.
healthy. I think the offense is better.
Yeah, and plus they're starting Daniel Jones at quarterback.
I don't trust Daniel Jones.
I don't either. The Cardinals at the Saints, and this is why you can't have this be your first game of the year. Trash on trash. I actually don't even care, but I'll take the better team. Give me Arizona.
Yeah, I'm going Arizona.
I might not pick the Saints a lot this year.
I might not pick the Saints at all.
Forgot to abbreviate NO for Saints. Okay, I just realized that.
Yeah, Saints. Oh, Saints are the only ones that weren't abbreviated.
Because I had the team names the whole. Never mind, it's all right. Let's go on to the New York Giants and the Washington Football Team, aka the Washington Commanders. You're right; it is an easy one.
That's a Commanders pick all day. Oh, this one we might split on this one.
No, I'll take Commanders. I actually don't mind the Giants, though.
I'm talking about Carolina and Jacksonville. We both picked Washington.
Well, I just did it. I didn't. You were like, we might split. I didn't even circle.
Oh no, I thought we were just
no, because I was thinking about the Giants there for a second, dude. But I'll wait till Jackson Dart starts.
I love Jackson Dart. I'm a huge Jackson Dart believer. I just don't think week 1's going to be his week.
Okay. We are going to split on this one, I think.
Yeah, because I'm taking Carolina.
Okay, we're both taking Carolina.
All righty then. I'm a huge Bryce Young believer this year. I actually think they got better after they traded Adam Thielen to the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not supposed to be talking about
No, you're good. You're good. That Carolina one now at away. I almost want to reverse this and go Jacksonville.
Go for it. Do what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm actually going to reverse this just because it's a home game.
You know why too?
Jacksonville.
You know why too? Is because you haven't beaten me yet in the pick'ems this year.
No. That's not why. Yeah. Don't worry. I got a surprise for the last after the last pick.
I didn't even know.
We're going to do an upset bonus.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
I like that.
So the Bengals and the Browns here. I mean, this honestly, take the over, folks. I don't care what the fucking score is here. It could be 50 to 52. Take the over on this one here. We'll go Bengals on the road. Better team, way better offense. Joey Flacco, though, look at this being a home game for the Browns makes this an interesting game. However, and the Browns do have the better defense. This literally could, by far. Myles Garrett is better than the entire defense.
Okay, dude. Myles Garrett is better than Trey Hendrickson, but they just gave Trey Hendrickson his raise.
Yeah, they gave him his raise.
Who else besides Myles Garrett do you want to?
Guy.
Myles Garrett is the one guy in Cleveland.
No, Trey Hendrickson's the one guy.
Who's the one?
I don't know their team.
Exactly. So shut the fuck up.
No, I'm saying because last year they had a top defense.
Who?
The Browns had a top 10 defense last year.
That's fair. But you only know Myles Garrett on that defense.
Correct. They're all good, though.
Okay,
Anyways.
you know Trey Hendrickson on the Bengals defense, who led the league in sacks last year.
So, anyways, we're moving on here.
The Bills wanted to trade for him, so shut the fuck up.
No.
It doesn't suck. All right. Anyways, so Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
This is the last of the 1:00 games here. Tampa at Atlanta. I think we both like Tampa on this.
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa. As much as I want to believe in Atlanta, I think they got better with Penix. I think they got better with their offense. I think Bijan's going to have a fucking phenomenal year, which is why he's been going over Jamar Chase in fantasy drafts this year. You absolutely got to give me Tampa in this one, though, because Tampa's won the division the last 5 years.
They have. This is all facts. Starting off the 4:00 games here, the Titans at the Broncos.
This is an easy one.
Could be an upset here. Cam Ward, the first pick in the 2025 draft here. No. We're going the Broncos, though, folks.
Broncos. Dude, Tennessee is absolutely not winning this game with a fucking rookie quarterback. And Calvin Ridley is the number 1 wide receiver. And Tony Pollard, who got chased out of Dallas, who wasn't good enough to be Dallas' starter.
I think he was good enough. I think it's another Jerry Jones fuck up.
No, Tony Pollard was a phenomenal fill-in when Ezekiel Elliott was there. And Ezekiel Elliott was hurt. Tony Pollard was a great fill-in. But Tony Pollard as a starter, we already saw it in Tennessee. Wasn't great. Tajay Spears took that over real quick. Unfortunately, Tajay Spears is hurt.
He is hurt.
Okay. So, Seattle, San Francisco. We might split this one.
Oh, this is tough.
Yeah.
I know you want San Fran.
Yeah,
I know you do.
I'm taking Seattle on this one.
Oh, you are? You're taking Seattle?
No, just kidding. I'm taking San Francisco.
I was about to say, I'll take San Fran easily on this. I'm taking
give me San Francisco.
Give me San Fran.
The Brock Purdy era after he finally got paid much more than he deserved.
I might have these backwards, though. I think
San Francisco. Oh, yeah. I don't know what you've got
San Fran's actually the away team.
Oh, that might change things. Psych. Just kidding. Give me San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm going to take San Francisco.
Because I don't trust Sam Darnold. Because he had Justin fucking Jefferson as his wide receiver last year and Jordan Addison as his other wide receiver last year, who were both probably number 1 wide receivers on any other team.
All right, Lions, Green Bay. This is going to be a really good game here. I think another good shootout of a type of game.
This could be a toss-up, but I'm going to go
divisional
Detroit.
Game, guys. Divisional games.
I'm going to go Detroit.
Okay, I'm gonna split you here. I'm going to go Green Bay. We got rookie Golden.
Oh yeah, I like Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden.
I got him in a couple of.
I also ended up drafting Jordan Love in my work league because I forgot to draft a quarterback. So for that,
Jordan Love might be good.
He might be good. All right, Texans at the Rams here. This is kind of a toss up to me. The Texans have no run game. Mixon's out for at least 6 weeks. The Rams have Stafford, who looks like he should be in a wheelchair. So I'm going to go with the home team here and take the Rams. Go ahead. Who do you like?
I'm also going to go with the Rams on this one. I do think it's funny because Devontae Adams left the Raiders because he didn't want Jimmy Garoppolo as his quarterback.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to the Rams.
And Jimmy Garoppolo's
and guess who might be the backup quarterback to Matthew Stafford if Matthew Stafford can't play? It's Jimmy G. Yeah. But give me the Rams on this one. I love Puka Nacua. Devontae Adams, it doesn't matter. Devontae Adams isn't going to be the number 1 in this offense, so I think that helps him playing with Jimmy G, even if that's how it goes. Even Stetson Bennett, I think, is going to be a capable quarterback over Jimmy G. I'm going to go with the Rams in this one just because I love Kyron Williams. Their offensive line's good. The wide receivers are good. The defense, even without Aaron Donald, is still okay. It's middle of the pack.
Okay. And our final 2 games here, Sunday Night Football. We talked a lot about the Buffalo Bills earlier in the podcast here. Depending on which way I was going to sway here, I'm going to tell you guys, because it's a long season, I don't mind giving us a loss early. And this is a tough one for me to say this, but I'm going Ravens on Sunday Night Football.
No.
We know you don't pick against the Bills.
I don't pick against the Bills. I picked the Bills to go 17-0 last year. I'm picking them to go 17-0 this year. And DraftKings had them going 17-0 this year because up until today, the Bills were favored in every single game going into this season as the favorite to win over the Kansas City Chiefs, who were 16-1, and their only loss was to the Buffalo fucking Bills. So I'm going with the Bills.
Go Bills.
I don't give a shit if it's Baltimore and they want revenge. It's in Buffalo.
Absolutely.
It's the start of the final season at Ralph Wilson Stadium, Rich Stadium, War Memorial Stadium. I actually don't think it's the same stadium. But whatever. This is the last fucking year before we get the new Highmark Stadium. You might as well dub the new Highmark Stadium as Josh Allen Stadium because that motherfucker is going to bring us a goddamn Lombardi within the next 2 years.
Here's the thing. Since I know I'm going to beat you on a couple other picks here, I don't mind sacrificing this one. So go Bills. We always root for the Bills, but realistically, we're going in the pick'ems here. I'm taking the Ravens. And we're going to finish things off with the Monday Night Football here. This is actually my upset of the week here.
Chicago too?
I am going to pick Chicago at home.
Good, because I'm picking Minnesota.
Yeah, I knew you weren't going to pick Chicago. Caleb Williams, hello, at home. They got Ben Johnson. It's time to change shit around. Ben Johnson also hooking back up with DeAndre Swift here, who used to be on the Lions. Look, the offense is going to be completely different this year. This is the only time I'm going to spend a little bit of time on a game is this one, just because I feel that this is the easiest upside of the week. We don't know what J.J. McCarthy's going to do. We do know what Ben Johnson has done in the past. I'm going to get the Bears at home. Home. If this was an away game, it's totally different. But I think this is going to be enough to carry this. Now, it's going to be a close game. I don't know what the spread is, but I'm going to take the Bears money line, and I would also take the Bears with the spread because I know that they're the underdog.
You know what? I actually like your logic on that one. I'm still just taking Minnesota based off of years past. And Chicago, Caleb Williams hasn't looked good. We'll see what Ben Johnson can do. I hope the Bears can actually beat some teams this year and be competitive. Because I feel like ever since they lost that Hail Mary to the Commanders last year, which if the Bears actually won that game, Commanders never even would have made playoffs.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Minnesota wins this one.
Okay, so what I was gonna say is, oh boy, hiccups. They're taking over. He's done. He's shot. The hiccups got him.
I got him. We're good.
So I was thinking of doing bonus points for upsets, but now I'm thinking maybe we'll pick one prop, and if we get our prop right, we'll add an extra point to our record.
Okay, I like that.
So it could be
You're
anything.
Looking for anything just to give you an advantage because you've never won the pick.
No, it has nothing to do with that. I want to make it interesting here. Just going to take, just take an extra point from every week.
Sure.
So it could be a touchdown score. It could be over yards. And I wasn't really prepared for this, so I might just go touchdown score this week just because I don't know like yards right now. I didn't look up under overs. I think Cooper Kupp's, his line is very low. I think it's like 40 yards or something like that for his under over. Let's just stick with touchdowns this week because I wasn't really prepared for this until right now when I was thinking about it. Next week I might get some lines out there and I'll give us like an optional like 10 lines and you could pick from those 10 lines. But for this week, let's just pick touchdown scores. You pick one, I pick one. If they both hit, we both get a point. If I hit, you don't, I'll get a point and vice versa. So any of these games, you could pick a touchdown score and I'll make it interesting. It can't be an obvious one. So
what's obvious?
Like you can't pick the starting running back, starting wide receiver. So it has to be, or starting tight end. So it has to be basically a backup, a tight end, a backup running back. It has to be a tight end that's not good.
Jalen Hurts.
And it can't be a quarterback.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on.
No,
that's going to be my pick.
Like, I know. It's
running back,
negative.
Tight end.
Because it's like negative odds, dude. Yeah, he's projected
Christ.
to score like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, probably because the fucking Cowboys.
All right, here.
I'm
going to make it real interesting. Because I didn't come with lines this week, we have to pick a player to score a touchdown from the Cardinals and Saints game.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Alvin Kamara.
And it can't be Trey McBride.
Alvin Kamara?
You could take Kamara.
All right, I'm writing down Alvin Kamara.
I'll take Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I like your pick better than mine. I'm just like, Saints, who's on that team? Oh, Alvin Kamara. And it's like, oh, fuck. They're not good, though. They're fucking dog shit.
No,
they got Tyler Shuck.
You should have picked anybody on that team.
Oh, my God.
It's locked in, folks.
I would have been better off with selecting the fucking kicker to score a touchdown.
Yeah, no.
Oh, Lord.
You're not wrong about that one. All right, folks, we're nearing the end of the podcast here. We finished off the pick'ems. We talked the Cowboys, Eagles. We talked about the Bills and the Ravens. We talked beer, even though I skipped over it in the beginning because we haven't done this in a few weeks. But we're going to get back on track with this podcast.
Next week, we're on track.
We're going to get back on track with it.
We need a whiteboard. Tells us what to go in order with. Say beer. We know to rate it.
We do need a whiteboard.
Beer-rate.
All right, guys. It's been fun. Welcome back to the podcast here. Guys.
Almost an hour and a half.
I'm Mikey D.
I'm Jeff.
We out.
Go Bills!